Morning, investigators are trying to figure out how two people died inside a southern Indiana home.
Yeah, the bodies were found last night inside the house along Highway 3 in Otisco, that of course in Clark County. Sheriff's deputies were called there just to make sure the people inside were okay. Instead, officers found the bodies of a man and woman. We don't yet know what the relationship was between the two.
Somebody had to call for us to get a welfare check, but at this point I don't know who that was.
Lots of questions here. Right now, sheriff's deputies are only calling this death a death investigation rather than a homicide. They're not yet clear if foul play was involved.
The search is on this morning for a Hardin County woman who escaped from a correctional complex near Eddyville. Police say she was spotted yesterday in the Flint Hill area west of Sonora. The sheriff's office says Lastia Shreves was seen with a man at a vacant home. When a deputy arrived on the scene, he found a stolen truck from western Kentucky. Randy Harrington of E-Town was arrested and charged with receiving stolen property, but Shreves was able to get away. She's been on the run since escaping last week. Just days before his trial was set to begin, a Louisville man accused of child solicitation pleads guilty to a lesser charge. Christopher Griffin agreed to plead guilty to a charge of dissemination of matter harmful to minors. He was accused of using Facebook to ask a 12-year-old Jeffersonville girl for sex. The girl's father found the messages and called police. A judge gave Griffin probation after spending a 2-year sentence.
Investigators are searching for the cause of a fire that damaged two houses in Shelby Park yesterday afternoon. This is the 1300 block of South Preston Street near Ormsby. Oddly enough, it was a firefighter who was taking out the trash at Engine Station 15 just a few doors down who noticed the smoke and flames. Fire was under control in less than a half an hour, or less than an hour rather, but not before it spread to a house next door. A third house was also in danger, but those firefighters managed to save it.
Fire doubles really quick. I mean, like every minute it's probably doubling in size. So these wood frame houses that are around here, it could go 2-3 houses in a row if they're really close.
Nobody was inside either house at the time and no injuries were reported, but that second house that caught fire was vacant. But neighbors are telling us renovations on it just finished and some new occupants were set to move in today. There's an investigation this morning into the fire that severely damaged an apartment building in South Louisville. This happened yesterday on Meadowwood Court off of Southside Drive. When firefighters got there, they could see smoke and flames coming from the second floor. They were able to control it and nobody was hurt. As of this morning, they still do not know the cause.
A Hodgenville man is charged with attempted murder this morning after an emotional exchange between relatives turns violent.
My mother really thought that he was going to kill her grandson.
Raymond Harris is accused of trying to kill his nephew during an argument. Deputies say Harris choked his 31-year-old nephew until he started gasping for air and began passing out. According to court documents, he suffered bruises and marks around his throat. Although she's grateful police intervened, the victim's mother disagrees with the felony.
Attempted murder is just a little extreme.
Once someone is charged and into the system, that would be up to the county attorney and the Commonwealth attorney.
Harris is also charged with 4th-degree assault. This morning, the brother of a man charged with shooting a postal worker is now also accused in the case. Marcus Bennett appeared in federal court yesterday. His brother Eric is charged with attempted murder. Court records say Eric Bennett shot the mailman on Dearborn Avenue. Postal inspectors say the victim told them Marcus Bennett had asked him to deliver drug packages, blamed him for missing drugs that hadn't been delivered. Documents say both brothers and the mail carrier have prior drug convictions. So far, the letter carrier has not been charged in the case.
A teacher at Fern Creek High School is expected to answer to sex abuse charges today. Samuel Barrett is accused of inappropriately touching a freshman girl. He's charged with 4 counts of sex abuse. JCPS has pulled him from the classroom, putting him on other duties pending the outcome of the investigation. And a UK football player from Louisville is off the team this morning after a drug arrest. His name is Jason Hatcher. He graduated from Trinity. He's now charged with trafficking in marijuana. That is, of course, a felony. He was arrested after a traffic stop over in Franklin County. The sheriff says a deputy found a pound of marijuana in his car. Last fall, he was suspended for 2 games for breaking team rules.
Community members come together to discuss how to make the jury selection process in Jefferson County more fair. It's been a hot topic since Judge Olu Stevens dismissed a jury after he had concerns that it was not diverse enough. At a panel discussion last night, attorneys, judges, and professors talked about how juries are picked. They also talked about their hopes of improving the process.
It works best when everybody participates. No matter what your age, no matter what your social background, no matter how much money you make, no matter what your race is, we're a mixed, diverse community, and it takes everybody together to make a difference.
We're also told there are many factors that keep people from serving on juries. They include health issues, fear of losing income, and having pending court cases which prevent them from participating.
All right, 4:37, we are blazing through this morning. Up next, tensions mount and charges fly among rival GOP presidential candidates ahead of today's Republican caucus in Nevada.
Plus, new developments this morning in the dramatic crash right here of a tourist helicopter caught on camera in Hawaii. You won't want to miss this one. Coming up.
Most locations dry to start out this Tuesday morning. Head toward the Cumberland Parkway and the Tennessee border around Columbia, Kentucky, and Adair County. Few sprinkles to start the morning. That won't last long, and overall expect a dry and relatively mild Tuesday forecast. More on that, but rain and snow chances also increasing in your 7-day coming up.
WLKY Morning News.
Good morning to you. Welcome back. Feels a little like a spring morning out there. A little crisp.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect descriptive word for it as well, because it's not too cold. You're going to want the jackets, though. But temperatures are going to be above normal again today, both in morning lows and afternoon highs. Clear shot across our WLKY studios to downtown Louisville. So that's some good news out there on the tower camera this morning. Few clouds passing on through. Temperatures sitting right about 40 degrees at Louisville International. A couple of degrees cooler in the 30s for Bowman Field, and even 36 outside our studio doors. Bit of a northeast breeze picking up at 10 miles per hour will knock the wind chill, or the feels like temperature, to 33. We're right at 33 in Seymour, Indiana, to 42 in Campbellsville. A little milder to the south because of a little more cloud cover. Even a couple of showers trying to linger in the southeastern parts of the viewing area around Columbia, Kentucky, and also far southeastern portions of the Commonwealth. Farther back off to the north and west, notice this little pocket of clearing skies. I think we're going to see some early day sunshine. It'll help lift our temperatures before clouds start to increase later in the day from the central plains ahead of some rain that's on tap for tonight. Severe weather, hail in the thunderstorms near Del Rio, Texas, that cruise through San Antonio and now towards the Texas coast. It's going to be the central Gulf Coast today that'll be under the gun for a severe weather threat, even a possibility of tornadoes. That nastier weather stays south of us, but we will be developing rain showers later tonight and through the day tomorrow. Notice the warmer air, more humid air that's going to fuel those thunderstorms down along the Gulf Coast. For us, we're cool but not too cold, and temperatures in the afternoon rebound nicely. We hit 53 yesterday. I think we're going to add 5 to that today at 58. Increasing clouds through the afternoon, but still enough bright skies and sunshine to bump up those temperatures, and then we'll see the rain showers build in as we make our way into tonight. 7-day forecast has that evening rain chance, and then it's a guarantee of the precipitation tomorrow. 55, but by Wednesday night we'll get cold enough to start to mix in some of the snowflake activity with that rain, changing to mainly just light snow Thursday, maybe mixing in a raindrop as temperatures jump towards 39, but it will be a chillier Thursday and Friday with highs on either side of 40 degrees. Then we bring back the milder air Saturday, 54, back into the 60s by Sunday ahead of a rain chance next Monday. Very changeable over the next 7 days, but at least dry through this afternoon. Eric?
Thanks, Matt.
All right, new this morning, a teenage boy injured in a helicopter crash in Hawaii. This one right here, unfortunately, has died. We first showed you the video last week. Cell phone video captured the tourist helicopter crashing into Pearl Harbor with 5 people on board. It appears the tail rotor stopped working. The 4 other people on the helicopter were actually pulled to safety and survived.
It is a busy morning in Commitment 2016. Republicans caucus in Nevada today to select their party's presidential nominee. GOP frontrunner Donald Trump is looking to secure a 3rd win in a row as rival Ted Cruz fights that he's trying to claim that victory as well. Don Champion reports.
After winning primaries in South Carolina and New Hampshire, Donald Trump is eyeing a big win in Nevada tonight.
You gotta vote tomorrow. You gotta vote, vote, vote.
On the eve of the state's GOP caucuses, the Republican frontrunner did not hold back, slamming a protester.
I'd like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
And bashing rival Ted Cruz for what he called dishonest campaign ads.
This guy is sick. There's something wrong with this guy.
God bless the great state of Nevada.
After finishing in third place behind Marco Rubio in South Carolina, Cruz is going into today's contest without his communications director. Rick Tyler was asked to resign Monday for sharing a false news story on social media that suggested Rubio dismissed the Bible.
I have made clear in this campaign that we will conduct this campaign with the very highest standards of integrity. That has been how we've conducted it from day one.
Speaking on a flight to Vegas, Rubio called Tyler the fall guy for Cruz's deceptive campaign.
You feel bad for the guy. He's basically a guy who was executing a culture that exists in that campaign.
Rubio is leading Cruz in the Silver State. Both are vying to be the main alternative to Trump, with Super Tuesday just a week away. Don Champion, CBS News.
And on the Democratic side, Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton will take part in a town hall event tonight in South Carolina. That's ahead of that state's Democratic primary this weekend. For all the Democrats, Hillary Clinton has pulled ahead of Bernie Sanders 52-51 in the race for delegates awarded in primaries and caucuses. But Clinton's lead is much bigger when endorsements by superdelegates are included. And the latest poll shows Clinton holds a nearly 2-1 lead over Sanders ahead of Saturday's Democratic primary in South Carolina.
This morning, new developments in the legal tussle between the FBI and Apple over the iPhone belonging to one of the San Bernardino shooting suspects. Now, some of the shooting victims and their families are supporting the government's push to get Apple to help hack that locked iPhone. An attorney says he plans to file a brief on behalf of several families. Apple is resisting the effort, citing privacy concerns. The Kalamazoo County prosecutors has dismissed the idea that an Uber driver charged in a deadly shooting rampage was targeting a particular person. Jason Dalton is accused of killing 6 people, wounding 2 others over the weekend. Investigators maintain the shootings were actually random and haven't revealed a motive yet. The prosecutor says Dalton has admitted to the killings. He's charged with multiple counts of murder and attempted murder.
All right, so police chases rarely end well, right? This one near Oklahoma City is no exception. Take a look at this. Officers with the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics were chasing a man on Interstate 40. You can see their speeds, and this guy tries to make this curve, doesn't make it. He was going too fast. That car went off the road, went airborne, and then crashed into a line of trees. Officers, as you imagine, didn't waste any time grabbing him. They put him in handcuffs. I'll mention police found several guns inside his car.
Well, the government says driving in the U.S. has hit an all-time record. In 2015, drivers traveled 3.1 trillion miles. The previous record was 3 trillion miles, set in 2007 before the recession led to a sharp reduction in driving. The National Safety Council recently estimated the number of traffic deaths in the U.S. rose 8% from 2014 to 2015, and that's the largest year-to-year percentage increase in a half century.
I believe that, but can you actually really see a trillion?
No,
I mean,
I don't even know what that.
I don't want to say on television
it.
that I don't know what that is, because technically I kind of do, but come on,
Right.
It's a trillion.
It's hard to imagine, though.
I heard once before, like when the national debt hit 5 trillion, someone accounted that to seconds and said if you went back 5 trillion seconds, we'd all be in a cave trying to invent fire right now on this Tuesday. Hopefully your furnace working nicely, but it's not working overtime this morning. Temperatures in the 30s and low 40s, right at the 40-degree mark in the metro. I'm going to talk about a milder afternoon than yesterday, but we're going to grab the rain gear starting tonight. Big storm system heading our way. More on that coming up. 10 minutes till the top of the hour. A few rain showers on the Doppler network in the far southern communities of the WLKY viewing area. Adair County up towards Liberty, Kentucky, and over to Somerset, and also down towards the Tennessee border. Farther north into the metro, we are nice and dry. Skies partly cloudy. Visibility is looking good, not dealing with fog this morning. Temperatures mainly in the 30s to low 40s, from 42, a little more cloud cover in Campbellsville, to middle and upper 30s. It's really the rule outside of the metro, as chilly as 33 in Seymour, Indiana. Indiana. Bulk of the rain overnight's been along the Appalachian chain to our south and east. Out to the west, we're going to start the day with some sunshine, increase clouds during the afternoon, and then bring in rain chances as we head into tonight. But I still think we'll be mild this afternoon. Highs up to 58 degrees, average temperature right around 50. So we'll outpace normal by 8 degrees, but rain develops as we head into the evening. Here we are 10 o'clock tonight, especially from Louisville and points off to the south and west. Not talking about severe weather, although a rumble of thunder will be possible where you see these areas of yellow, even orange. That's going to be some steadier, even at times, heavy rain through the overnight hours by 2 o'clock. Boy, just a soaker this overnight period from Louisville northward into southern Indiana and northern Kentucky. Will continue scattered showers through tomorrow morning, so it is going to be a rather wet Wednesday morning commute both to and from work and school, because 5 o'clock we're still dealing with rain showers. Colder air starts to wrap in on the backside of this system, and as we head Wednesday night into Thursday, we're going to mix with and change over to a period of light snow, maybe even a few raindrops Thursday afternoon as temperatures do get above freezing. And that's good news because we won't be dealing with accumulating snowfall. But it is going to start to turn wintry after 1 to 2 inches of rain over the course of tonight into tomorrow, maybe even a few locations higher than that. We bring in the snowflakes, light as it may be, but still a little taste of winter Thursday, Friday at 40. But look at the big jump in temperatures by the weekend, 54 Saturday, 60s on Sunday ahead of rain chances Monday. So we were talking about it earlier this morning. We're doing spring, we're doing winter, and sometimes we're having that about 2 or 3 times during the course of a week.
But with JCPS alone having had so many snow days, you're not
Right.
looking at an issue with that.
It really doesn't look that way, especially since we're in the mid-50s. The next couple of days, road surface temperatures are going to be warm. I think we're going to have a tough time really accumulating any of that snow on the roads. We'll keep an eye on it, but it looks like surfaces don't get below freezing until Friday morning.
All right. Thank you, Matt. 4:53 now this morning. Drivers have another way to access I-65 North near downtown. The Liberty Street ramp has reopened to traffic. The Ohio River Bridges Project provided us with this dash cam video. The ramp had been closed since last February while the new one connecting to the Lincoln Bridge was built. Now the ramp on Muhammad Ali Boulevard is closed so it can be rebuilt. That work should take about 3 months. Now, in the next few weeks, traffic can stay on I-65 North and access 64 and 71 from the right lane before Ali Boulevard. Right now, that lane is an exit only. Our congratulations go out this morning to the dance team from Male High School. There they are. This past weekend, the girls were crowned grand champions at the Kentucky Dance Coaches Organization State Championships in Frankfort. The competition featured 55 teams, including 11 from Louisville.
UK basketball gearing up to take on Alabama tonight, but some of the air has been let out of the team sails. The Cats have fallen to 16th in the new AP poll. We're going to talk a lot about that AP poll. But the Cats, though, are in first place in the SEC with a 1-game lead. Right now, they're projected as a 5 seed in the NCAA tournament. But key issues are hanging in the balance here. Among them, the Wildcats may have to continue without strong starting forward Alex Poitras, who's nursing a knee injury, as you well know. And starting forward, Derek Willis is a bit iffy with a sprained ankle. Still, the Herding Cats are a 13-point favorite hosting Alabama tonight.
Well, you always want a full complement, so we don't want to go without anybody. But I know we've got some other guys that have stepped up and some other guys' absences. So I know with Coach's philosophy and next man up. You know, you look at what Isaac did last game, really stepped up and was big for us. So we'd like to have everybody, but I think everybody's confident that if we do miss a couple pieces, then other guys will be ready to step in and do their jobs.
We're there. Meantime, U of L basketball has jumped 7 spots to number 11 in the new AP poll. With just 4 games left, Louisville is just 1 game out of first place in the ACC. The Cards don't play again until tomorrow night in Pittsburgh. This will be a rematch of a game Louisville won here last month. The Cards now have records of 21-6 and 10-4 after beating Duke. They're fighting for their only remaining goal, taking the league title. Less than 2 weeks left before hitting their self-imposed postseason ban.
You know, we've had some struggles this year, but we've never broke our confidence and broke the way we play. And I think that it's just we're going to take this game and just keep going up higher and higher from here.
How much of a motivation is the championship?
It's a huge motivation, you know. Even if without the championship, as a motivation. We're still a motivated team. We still want to go out there and just prove to the. We like the fact that we have people who doubt us. We love that. From the beginning of the season of going unranked, we've just started and saying, look, we are a force to be reckoned with, and I think that we've done that this year. And I think that the ACC championship is just another thing that we can write on the wall and say, look, let's go out and win this and prove everybody else wrong again.
Have you seen a bill really?
IU basketball is 18th in the new AP poll with records of 22-6 and 12-3. The Hoosiers are alone in first place in the Big Ten with 3 games left. If the Hoosiers win out, they win the regular season championship. Their next game is Thursday at Illinois. It's also a rematch here. Indiana beat Illinois last month at home. The Hoosiers are projected as a 5 seed in the NCAA tournament after Saturday's win over Purdue.
We wanted to put pressure on the ball, and when we did that, we did a good job. We created turnovers, which is rare to do against Purdue, and we took care of the ball, which is also rare to do against Purdue. And those were key points in the game for us.
And here's a look at what you can watch tonight on CBS and WLKY at 8 o'clock. Catch NCIS at 9, NCIS New Orleans. Then it's Limitless at 10. And then don't miss WLKY News at 11. All right, 4:57 now, Matt. Pleasant morning out there.
Really not bad at all. Temperatures in the 40s, a little bit of a breeze out there, so still coats and jackets to stay comfortable, but we'll shed those in the afternoon. Highs going back into the 50s, a little warmer than yesterday.
All right, thank you, Matt. Coming up at 5 o'clock, a San Francisco showdown over a huge homeless camp.
Yeah, plus questions about the use of force after the rough arrest of a shoplifter is caught on camera. All that when WLKY News continues at 5.
This is WLKY Louisville, live, local, late breaking. Your complete news coverage for Greater Louisville starts right now.
Well, good Tuesday morning. It's 5 o'clock. Thank you for waking up with us. I'm Monica Harden.
And I'm Jennifer Bayless. We hope that your day is off to a great start. All the day's news coming right up. But right now, let's get a check of your Tuesday forecast with meteorologist Matt Milosevic. Not bad out there right now.
Really feeling pretty good by late February standards. We all know it could be a lot colder, and at the very least, we could be dealing with some rain and snow. Now, that's coming in our forecast as we get tonight into tomorrow, but so we'll enjoy the drier conditions this morning and through the afternoon. Clear shot on our WLKY tower camera looking to downtown Louisville. No problems in terms of any fog out there or anything that's going to get in your way. North and northeast breeze 6 miles per hour makes 40 degrees at Louisville International. Feel like 36. A little chillier at Bowman Field and outside our studio doors, more so in the 30s. And 30s are common across the viewing area. A little milder in Campbellsville at 42, where we've had some more clouds, even some showers in our far southern parts of the region down along the Cumberland Parkway into Adair County. That's really not amounting to too much, but you'll have to hit the wipers a time or two if you're headed from Columbia, let's say eastbound over towards Somerset. Expect a dry and mild day. Even those showers in our far southern communities will move on out of here. While we'll see increasing clouds for the afternoon, I think bright skies bump our highs to 58. Rain holds off until tonight, and boy, it'll be with us tonight into tomorrow. Heavy at times before colder air builds in, and we change it over to some periods of light snow Wednesday night into Thursday. Good news is, looks like temperatures will be above freezing, but much chillier at 39 Thursday. So little to no snow accumulation, but we'll have to find the heavier coats, it looks like.
All right, good advice. Thank you, Matt. 5:01 now. 2 people are found dead inside a southern Indiana home.
This morning, Clark County authorities are trying to figure out just how it happened. WLKY's Erica Coghill joins us live from the Clark County Sheriff's Office with details. Erica?
Good morning to you, Monica and Jennifer. The 2 bodies were found last night inside of a house off Highway 3 in Otisco. That's in Clark County. Now, sheriff's deputies were called there just to make sure the people inside were okay. Instead, officers found the bodies of a man and woman. We don't know yet what the relationship was between the 2.
Somebody had to call for us to get a welfare check, but at this point, I don't know who that was.
Now, the victims' identities have not yet been released at this time. Detectives are calling this a death investigation. They're not sure if, at this time, foul play was involved. Reporting live, I'm Erica Coghill, WLKY News.